And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Everybody who's traded has gone through periods of time where their strategy hasn't worked.
Where if not a hard stop, you should reevaluate the trades you're in based on time.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
All right. Welcome to the market recap, ladies and gentlemen. It is Tuesday, September the 13th. My name is John Hoagland. As always, thanks for trusting me with your time. I want everybody to just kind of take a deep breath and let go of everything that happened today. Obviously, we've got inflation seeping into pretty much every aspect of the economy as stocks really crumbled today. Worst day since May. E-mini S&P is down 175 points or 4.3% unofficially. NASDAQ down 700 points, down 5.5%. And the Dow down 1,260 points, down 4% as the U.S. dollar jumps. So obviously a tough day in the markets for everybody. Really, we just took back the last 4 days of rallies, but I think we've got more bumpy times ahead. With this inflation, things are going to get a little bit rough. Of course, we can pretty much be guaranteed of a 75 basis point rate hike next Wednesday from the FOMC, excuse me. And I know there's a lot of speculation. Maybe it could even be more. And with all of this today, the president is still celebrating the passing of the Inflation Reduction Act bill, whatever you want to call it, in Washington as we speak. OPEC had their announcement today. I didn't really see too much information about it other than the fact that OPEC is expecting demand for crude to exceed pre-pandemic levels in 2023. Although the crude oil market did not do well today, of course, it was off a little bit, I'm sure, on economic questions, economic fears. So, we've got more information coming as the week goes on. Tomorrow we have the PPI final demand coming out. That's just going to be a final number of information that I think we've already seen a little bit of before. We have the petroleum status report again tomorrow being Wednesday. Thursday, jobless claims, Philly Fed, retail sales is going to be a pretty important number for us. Empire State Manufacturing Index, import-export prices, industrial production, business inventories, and the nat gas numbers on Thursday, and quadruple witching on Friday. So we still have plenty of information, plenty of economic information due out that can certainly continue to shake up these markets. It's going to be an interesting week, as if it already wasn't an interesting week. It's rollover, so the markets are already kind of a little bit thin in certain spots. We did see a 12-point gap in price actually trading on the way down this morning after the numbers came out. So we've got a little bit of a shakeup going on here, and it's always, even if you don't participate, even if you knock it out of the park on days like today, it always seems like these days are a little bit rough on me. I know I'm a little bit exhausted after days like today, of course. I hope that you had a good trading day. Kind of a rough morning in Make Hoag Money, but that's okay. We're just there to see if any of these trade ideas are going to work, and I know we'll recover any losses that we had today on another day. I'm not worried about that. Thanks again for joining me today. If you joined me for Tales from the Coach, hopefully you found some interesting information for you there. We'll do the second part of it on Thursday at 12:30 Central, and I look forward to that as well. As always, if you like what you see, Make sure you hit the lucky like button. Share, comment, question, feedback, heckling is of course welcome, as is love. And make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel when you do, so you can get notifications when we do go live. We had the Coach's Playbook today. We were talking about what it is like trading in markets like this, and hopefully you get a chance to check that out as well. What else? Yeah, if you do like the market forecast, if you do like the market recap, make sure you tell your friends and make sure you hit the lucky like button. If there's something that we're missing, something I'm missing, something I can do better, let me know. jhoagland@topstep.com. Always looking forward to some good information, feedback, and constructive criticism from all of you. So, good afternoon, Vince. Good to see you, my man. Alfred, Scott Saw, George, Nicholas, Joe. What a small loss at the open. No trades rest of the day. It's okay. I don't like to trade days like today. I don't typically do well on them, so I didn't get too involved myself. Haggle Matters. Good to see you, my brother Rick. Tom Petty day. Yeah, definitely free falling. So, big opportunity, also big risk comes on days like today. Alfred, your question, explain the morning trade. I'm assuming you're talking about the opening range trade. And what happens after the first minute? Well, if you're going to trade the opening range trade and the risk is limited enough for you, if the opening range is left at the low of the session, of course, what happens after that is directly related to the bigger picture, the context of the market. Do you think that the market is going to continue in that direction? I would assume so if you're taking that trade. So you put the stop in above. When the market breaks out above the opening range, you stop in for a long. Your sell stop is below the opening range, and you see what happens. Doesn't always work. The nice thing about it is sometimes it's really inexpensive to take, and sometimes you can get some really good trades on it. So a lot of that, for me to say exactly what's going to happen after you get into the trade, we'd have to be looking at context and looking at longer time frame direction of the market. Jay Wall, love your videos, Hoag. Well, thank you. I'm glad. I hope you find them useful from the UK, so I can't be here for all of them, but always appreciate taking the time. Last time I was here, you were having coyote troubles. Yeah, I remember that. Those troubles usually come in the winter. So coming into winter, we are certainly keeping our eyes peeled so we can protect the dog and protect the coyotes from each other and, hopefully coexist with the coyotes. But it's good to see you again, Jay. Glad you're back, and thanks for chiming in and saying hello. Alfred, good afternoon. Yes, of course. There you go. Yeah, come to group coachings if you can. Tomorrow we'll have one at 1 p.m. Central group coaching, and we can take a look, a little bit deeper into the opening range trade in real lifetime kind of situations. See if it happened. See if it played out yesterday, whatever it was. Glitter, yes, today was wild for sure. It's got me tired. It's got me exhausting. Just looking at what the markets did, crude rally stumbles on economic worries, even though OPEC had some things to say about crude oil today. The E-mini S&P and the NASDAQ and the Dow, we took 4 days of rallies back today on the fears after that CPI number. The one that really took it the worst was the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ closed, what was it? More than 5% lower, 5.5% lower. So we're going to have to, again, see what happens tomorrow. We've got more inflationary, perhaps, numbers tomorrow with the PPI. Gold, bear flag breaks to the downside right after the number comes out. Really kind of settles into some balance after that. But we had the dollar, pop to the upside. So that was, I'm sure, one of the reasons that our gold was to the downside, as well as the euro. The dollar jump brings price back basically into balance. In the euro, we're kind of taking a look above that weekly kickoff high this morning and right back inside value or balance today after the numbers came out. The 10-year rising rails bring price to test of the weekly kickoff low. Wait till you see the chart in the 10-year, and you know, sometimes how these weekly kickoff levels become targets or are good opportunities for entries for trades. And the natural gas, we just really had a kind of a volatile but inside sort of kind of day. The value area shrinks kind of inside the value from yesterday. So again, waiting for more information from the natural gas. It has been a day, 100%. Let's go just take a quick meander through these charts. And again, I'm going to just stop for a second and take a deep breath. I've been through this before. We've been through this before. It's going to be okay. It's just going to take some time. May take a lot of time, but eventually I think we're going to be okay. Of course, I know we will be. Here's the crude oil. So this morning, knowing it's in rollover, we'll talk about whether we move to the November contract tomorrow morning. They're talking about potential OPEC cuts. Supply is in question. Everything I think this morning before the numbers came out looked pretty rosy for the upside for a lot of these markets, but that CPI number put a stop to a lot of things that were in process and some big changes in these markets. Taking a look at the 30-minute here, we had the market kind of opening. Well, this is the 7:30 number, so we had some overnight inventory that was adjusted before we opened up. We opened, traded to point of control higher, traded to point of control lower. We're going to take this and we're going to shorten it up because this naked point of control has been checked already. So we're going to stop that there. So we tested this one and tested this one. It's amazing how visual these markets are. We also tested and closed this little gap that we had left, so we're going to take that back and just know that we did have the opportunity to trade through it in the regular trading hours. What does all this mean for tomorrow? Well, who the heck knows? We've got more weakness down below. We've got this gap down below that we just touched into. We've got another naked point of control before we get to weekly kickoff low. We got a couple of more naked points of control higher here. Tomorrow is EIA. API is this evening in about 15 minutes. If we're still in the recap, we can take a look and see what the API comes out as far as crude stocks here for the last week in the U.S. Let's take a look here at our equities. All right. Where did we go to here? We went to where we saw buyers come in longer time frame back in July. Where have we traded back to? We traded basically almost back to that same area. We have also, hang on one second, traded basically to this trend line. Now, is this trend line really solid? I want to make sure this is looking good. We had a couple of peaks down below that, trading basically right to that trend line. If we were to just go off of these two lows and the fact that the market didn't close below either of these, just right down to this area. We're going to move this down just a little bit because it looks like we've got 2 points of contact here, point of contact here. And tomorrow we're going to have the convergence between this trend line and our weekly kickoff low. This is going to be an important day tomorrow. I have a feeling we're going to see some fireworks again tomorrow. And again, we're in rollover. Expiration for this September contract is on Friday, quadruple witching hour. So lots of things going on, lots of opportunity and lots of risk. Take a look at the 30-minute chart. We had a big gap up here of trades that prices that didn't even trade on the way down. We had some overnight longs before the number came out. If today was just a normal day with no economic numbers, we probably could have just continued this grind to the upside. We started talking about this upside move was going to continue until we got some bad news. Well, we got our bad news. So we're getting our pullback. We're getting our big down day here. We checked down to through this point of control, through this gap. We pretty much took care of all of the weaknesses that were created by the market on this move back to the upside. Weekly kickoff low is going to be vital for us tomorrow. Drop, a little consolidation, and then just a continuation of meltdown to the end of the day. Where's this market going to end up too short? Look at the NASDAQ. Same sitch. All the way down to weekly kickoff low in the NASDAQ. That is just amazing to me. 12,106 was weekly kickoff low. Traded through it without acceptance. Down to 12,082 and a quarter. Closing, of course, the day back above weekly kickoff high. Tested to this. Checked. Tested to this point of control. Check. Tested to this gap. Check. Tested to this point of control. We took care of a lot of unfinished, unchecked weaknesses in structure down below today. Weekly kickoff low, pivotal. Pivotal. This whole area here tomorrow morning is going to be pivotal for us. Take a look at gold. Just going to look at the 30-minute. Well, let's look at the daily. We always got to look at the longer picture here. Basically, we're just falling into range. We did have something that kind of looked like a bear flag here. I'm looking at this more of an area of balance more than a bear flag. We've been looking for a W bottom. I think the probabilities of that have diminished. Here's the 30. Okay, here's the bear flag. We broke out and drove down to it and then did what gold always seems to do. We have the big move and then we fall into balance. A long liquidation B-shaped profile. See if we lost a bunch of open interest in gold tomorrow. That would be long liquidation. It's the only product that we have that isn't in rollover. Here's the euro. The jump in the dollar pushes price right back into range. Here's the 30. Similar to gold, rejection above weekly kickoff high. Didn't close above it yesterday. Very small range right up against it. We got our news and POW just right straight down. And again, another B-shaped profile. Perhaps a little bit of long liquidation. We'll see if we lose open interest. Again, it's in rollover, so it's going to be tough to see. The 10-year is not in rollover. We rolled over a couple of weeks ago, and we got a nice test at weekly kickoff low. Unfortunately, I think it happened kind of on the way down, but not a really big bounce. Look at this. I would certainly call this a dead cat bounce. I'm going to look for some opportunities tomorrow, perhaps around weekly kickoff low. If we can't hold it, we certainly could see price move lower because we know rates are going higher. Just a matter of when and how. And for the natural gas. So here we are. We just had, just a bunch of stuff in the overnight. The market opens and kind of drives just a couple of ticks above yesterday's high, but then falls into range with value, inside value from yesterday. Let's see what this looks like with a composite profile. So a relatively even bell curve here. The market is preparing for a move in one direction or another. It's going to be another interesting and challenging day tomorrow. It's sometimes so exhausting, though. And today is one of those days. I just found it to be exhausting. I'm not, still can't look at my 401k. I don't suggest you do it either. But we've lived through this before, and this is hopefully not just the beginning of something worse. But we're going to survive it nonetheless. Because why? Because we're traders, and we survive. We thrive, and we live to trade another day. ZK, green on the day after a month-long mental health break. Good to hear, ZK. Welcome back. Neil, enjoyed the day and stayed green. Nice job. And isn't it a lovely day, Captain Price says. Taken by surprise to the least. Sell it and forget it. LOL. Captain Price talking about 3,900 because that's the origin of this structure. I can see that. Tomorrow is going to be a very interesting day. I totally agree with that, Captain Price. At some point, the 4,000 reset is not uncommon, but we will see it we'll take it one day at a time. Rarely seen days like this on quad witching. Maybe reminds me of 2014, 2017 trading year, but I don't remember how long ago I didn't see these. I guess it was taken off sides like Mike Tyson punched him, and Mike Tyson's got a famous quote that everybody's got a plan till they get punched in the nose. So appreciate all the metals held up much better than the equities. Well, if at some point if things get ugly in the equities, when are the metals going to become safe havens? It's going to be interesting. So in this day in music, in 1963, Graham Nash fell out of the Hollies van after a gig in Scotland. He just wanted to check if the door was locked and fell out, and the van was going 40 miles an hour. It's kind of what you could feel like today if you did not do things right. 1991, Geffen Records threw a party to launch Nirvana's single Smells Like Teen Spirit, and the band themselves got thrown out of their own party after starting a food fight. How about that? 1944, today is Peter Cetera's birthday. Peter Cetera, who was with Chicago. Today is Zach Starkey's birthday. He was born in 1965, the son of Ringo Starr. The drummer, quite the drummer, from what I understand. I don't think I've seen him, but he's worked with The Who, and anybody that works with The Who is a good drummer because you're following up a pretty tough act there with Keith Moon. Today is Fiona Apple's birthday. And in history, Mary Kay of Mary Kay Cosmetics launched her namesake company today in 1963. Do you remember when Oprah gave away a bunch of cars? You get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car. That was today in 2004. God, it doesn't seem like it could be that long ago. 1990, the show Law and Order debuted. 22 years ago? 32 years ago. I'm sorry, 32 years ago. I'm getting old. I'm getting old. This is unbelievable. Where are we at here? Just wanted to see if we've got time to wait to see if the API comes out. It's not even showing up on here. It should be here. Minutes so for a very small draw in crude stocks, 200,000. So I don't think we need to wait for that. We can talk about that in the morning. I want to let everybody get a chance to catch their breath and be ready for tomorrow. Gonna get a good meal, get a good night's sleep tonight, and sleep all that well last night, and I kind of figuring maybe I knew, but didn't get hurt, and we're here to play for tomorrow, so we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning on the forecast. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Forecast, group coaching, and recap tomorrow. So get a good night's sleep. Be ready for tomorrow. Looks like more fireworks are going to be on display for us tomorrow. And be ready. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Say a prayer for world peace. And don't forget, peace inside yourself. Blessings to you all. See you tomorrow morning at 7:45 for the market forecast. Have a good night.